room for one another.
We knew we needed an extraordinary love to withstand past relationship experiences, everyday bad choices, and our past hurts.
It is clear that we were brought together as one for a purpose. And as we share our love story, we pray that from our experiences, you can gain positive takeaways to use in your own life and relationship. That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
Hey.
Well, hello.
Happy Wednesday, everybody.
That's right. We're back for another live and exciting conversations with the LoveByrds. We're your hosts, Darlene and William Bird.
The LoveByrds.
Yes, where we love love.
And we love people.
And we love you.
And we love you.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
So come on in here, like and share.
Yes.
Go to your favorite platform, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, link. I think we on every possible a platform to get that social media feed. So go like and share.
Go to
like
Feel Good Talk.
Go to Feel Good Talk.
We're on Feel Good Talk on all of the social media platforms. Go ahead and like and share and tap in here and tag somebody in here. Yes. Come on in, let us know you're here, say hi. We're coming back for another episode of Conversations with the LoveByrds, where we're just talking. We talk about love and relationship, and we just have conversations all the time. And we just kind of pull back the covers, let you guys see what's going on with us, what we're talking about.
We don't pull the card
Just a tiny bit. Just let you know what's going on with the LoveByrds. What are they talking about today? What's on their mind? What have they been chewing on? What they've been thinking about? We hope everybody enjoyed their holiday.
Yes, we sure did.
We did. We had a wonderful action-packed weekend.
A whole weekend. We started on Friday, start to finish. And we ain't finished up till kind of late yesterday after we dropped one of the grandbabies. So after you dropped the last grandbaby.
Yeah, I got 3 grandbabies. I went from 0 to 3 in like a year and a half. So I'm in. I'm a real grandma now, for real.
Yes, you are.
I'm a real one.
Official story.
It's official. So I hope everybody enjoyed their 4th of July. You know, Pastor Jackson said something interesting for the 4th of July. He said, you know, as Black people, we don't necessarily celebrate 1776, July 4th, 1776, but we celebrate what has happened since July 4th, 1776, and you know what we've been able to do. So we celebrate us and our, you know, what we have accomplished, are accomplishing, our families, family reunions, and all that kind of stuff. That's what we celebrate. So hopefully you got to hang out with some family this weekend and hug the necks of your tribe and have some fun and celebrate as well.
I know you like, what is he doing? I'm still liking and sharing.
Yeah, we're tapping in ourselves. Yes. So hey, so we're happy to be here. It's a Wednesday.
Yes.
It's been a busy weekend, so we're already in the middle of the week, babe.
Already. So I mean, it's like these months are shooting by so fast.
The year's halfway over.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean officially halfway over. We're already over the hump for sure.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just moving at a light speed, man.
It is.
I'm almost done, baby.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let them know what we're talking about. We're, you know, our topic for the whole month of July.
Very good.
Is I Choose You.
Yes.
So we're going to jumpstart it today, and we're going to carry it through this month. This whole theme of choices. Making the right choices in your relationship.
Yes.
And in life, I think we just start off really just talking about the word choices. Because really, you know, and I've said before, you know, your life is just a series of choices.
Yes.
Choices
and what's your favorite
decisions.
Line? You look like your decisions.
And you look like your decisions. You look like the choices you've made.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
When you're looking in the mirror, you look like all of the choices and decisions you've made.
Yep.
And your life looks like the choices and decisions that you've made. You know, the good, the bad, all of it. It's just choices, choices and decisions. So we're going to be talking about choices
in
relationships. I choose you.
Yes.
Because a healthy relationship is the result of making the right choices.
I like that too.
A healthy relationship is the result of making the right choices in the relationship and for the relationship. And hopefully both people are making those choices. So we're going to talk about some choices that we've agreed upon, and we're going to share those with you. I don't know, my light looks good on me today. You see that?
I know, isn't it? But it
What
looks
is
like
it?
it's
Is it the light?
flickering. Is it flickering like a strobe light or something? Like
I don't know, but
I keep getting
it got
this flash.
Oh,
Yeah, you
okay.
see it?
It's getting brighter or
Yeah,
something. But
okay.
I like the
I know
light.
one thing I was running through my head when I was
Hey,
talking.
Izzy.
When you were talking about this, hey family, was understanding the fact that we're always adapting and managing the changes we go through in a relationship. Inevitably, long-lasting relationships involve having managed, adapted, and navigated the changes that you'll eventually, inevitably go through in your relationship. Every relationship starts at this level and it moves into another phase or another level in the relationship. And us being able to adapt and change and navigate those changes
Ooh.
is very, very,
Ooh.
very, very important.
Feel like I'm
Those
always
are
going through
where real
changes.
lasting relationships come from.
You said navigating, adapting,
And navigating, adapting, and managing.
and navigating, adapting, and managing. Yeah, I like that. I like that, baby. Navigating. I gotta write that down. I gotta put that in my notes, y'all. Navigating,
Managing, adapting,
and managing.
Yes.
And navigating, adapting, and managing the changes that your relationship goes through, because relationships go through changes. Keep living, you're going to keep changing. Your relationships keep changing. So, to the degree that you can navigate, adapt, and manage those changes, that is to the degree to where you would have a healthy relationship. So that's what we're talking about today. That's what we're talking about today. And hopefully, if you've joined in, you can help us with this thought. But that's our thought.
And it ties into it because it really involves our way of thinking and what we're thinking and what we're saying to ourselves, and basically, which kind of leads to what kind of choices we'll make or what kind of actions we'll take in our relationship.
Okay.
So I'm just jumping.
You saying that like you got options.
Well, you do have choices, and choices are options.
There's options. There are choices to be made.
Yes.
And so we're saying that a healthy relationship is the result of making the right choices or the correct choices.
Because you can make good choices, but are they great choices? You know what I mean? It's not bad. I mean, the Bible. I think the Bible says that everything is permissible.
Oh.
But is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah.
I could probably find it, but I like where it talks about. I mean, a lot of things that you probably could do, and it may be okay to do, or you might think that you're big enough or good enough to do, but it's not always the right thing to do. Even some things that you can do. It's not just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it.
You should do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So doing what's best and making those choices. That's
doing
good.
some research on this.
That's good. Because not everything is for everybody.
Right.
And some things may be permissible for most people, but everything is not for everybody.
Right.
And that goes with a lot of things.
That goes with almost everything.
Some of the laws that are passed, that say it's okay to do this and do that. I mean, that doesn't mean we can just go off and do it all. We have to do the right thing for the relationship.
Yes.
Again, your life, your choices, and you look like the decisions and choices that you've made, and your relationship looks like the choices and decisions that you made. So we've made a few.
Yeah. We look like our choices too.
I feel like we look like.
Well, I ain't scared to say it. I feel like I look a lot better because of some of the choices I made. There's no doubt about that. It's evident. You can see it. Yeah. There's proof in the pudding. So absolutely.
Yep.
Guys, you can't. I'm sorry. We look. Maybe you feel like we're kind of dead right now, man. We are. We've been going hard all weekend. And I'm talking about hard. We had a great time, man. It was so much fun around here, man.
Yeah, it was exhausting. It's like when you need a break from your weekend and it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is one of the things that we've been talking about for over the past week or so. So I think it's easy for us
Not even the past. We've been talking about. I talk about it all the time because you said it to me again, like you always do, and reiterate and reiterate. Darlene always tells me to reassure me that she chooses me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Over everything, the business, over the church, over everything. It is her staunch, stout. Yeah, she goes hard on that.
We going with staunch and stout.
I don't know. I wanted to say something.
Right now.
I wanted to say something big. I want to wrap something big around it.
I think we get it. I think we get it. I think we get it.
Exactly.
And
I
listen,
feel that too.
let me say to the ladies, the guys need to hear that sometimes. You know, and I know ladies, we talk about what we need to hear all the time, but guys need to hear that. I know for my husband, I make sure I tell him, listen, I chose you. You are my choice, and you're still my choice. You know, I chose you, and I would choose you again. I think guys need to hear that. You know, they got their little testosterone thing going on sometimes.
What is it?
Jesus, I wish I knew.
But listen though. I mean, I don't think it's just because it's men. I think that everybody
women
needs
too,
that.
but sometimes women
need it.
forget that men need.
Yeah,
men need
well,
that.
I mean, that goes without saying. When, you know, daddies and fathers and men don't get it. Yes, it's great to hear it. Yes, you're right, Chuck. But I don't think we hear it enough, Chuck. And
that's my point.
And
it's important too.
Right,
it's not
very
like
much
it's
so.
just
Yeah,
I think it's important for them to
exactly.
hear those words.
Yeah.
So I make sure.
Yeah.
But
I love the fact that you're invested in the way we treat. We're invested in the way we treat each other.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So we're talking about choices
Moving
and
on.
decisions.
Keep
Our
it going.
topic this month is I choose you.
I choose you.
And we're talking about those choices and decisions and how a healthy relationship is the result of making the right choices.
Yes.
So we've chosen some things.
Yes, you've chosen some things.
Yeah. Want to talk about them?
Absolutely.
All right.
I don't think we came here not to talk about it.
So
We
one of
ended
the things that we have that we stand on is this one. We choose peace. We choose peace. And peace is a choice.
Yes.
So we choose peace. And with choosing peace, sometimes there's a little bit of there's a lot of humility
Yes.
that goes into choosing peace.
I don't embrace too well.
The H word.
Ooh, wait. I'm bad at that.
That humility part.
I mean, I'm very humble.
But a lot of people don't want to. If they have a point to make, they're going to try to make their point.
All the way hard.
They're going to choose making their point over peace. Some people choose being right over peace.
Yes.
Some people just choose talking over closing your mouth and peace. And humility is something. It's a muscle. Sometimes you have to work on it. There's different things people do. Like I have to sit on my hands. I have to keep saying something in my head. I have to tell myself to be quiet. Like whatever it is that you have to do, it is an exercise that you have to choose to do because of the relationship. You know, I used to teach leaders about stimulus and response. And in life, there's always going to be stimulus coming at you. And it's how you respond to the stimulus.
Right.
Whatever the stimulus is. What is your response to that thing that came at you?
Right.
And if you find that you're apologizing, if you find that you're having to say you're sorry, if you find that, you've upset the apple cart, you have chosen incorrectly to the stimulus that was presented to you, or sometimes you bring it on yourself. But it's how you respond to the stuff that happens. So even in times, if you're choosing peace, there's going to be a degree of humility in that choosing peace, and that's not. It's difficult. It's always easy.
Learning that to being able to genuinely apologize and also admit, I may have been wrong, or that I may have went too far. I mean that part of humility was really,
Wow.
and being able to move on, and being able to move on after that.
Yeah.
I'm a tough guy in that area.
Yeah, yeah. Some people can get stuck there a little
Yeah.
longer than they
They
should.
should, yeah.
Because
But
sometimes
I'm
it's just a
doing much
matter
better
of
now.
saying, "Hey,
Mhm.
Felicia."
Hey, Felicia.
Sometimes it's a matter of saying that I was wrong or I went too far or whatever. Sometimes just saying it,
Yes,
and then it can
yes.
get past it
Yep.
when you have that humility. But that humility, man,
Yes.
sometimes it's hard.
Humility can restore a marriage real quick too.
Mm-hmm.
Once one side decides that it's time to break from now and then, and just understand and realize that I was wrong or this and that and the other, and then expressing that humility
Yeah.
can really save a
Yeah,
relationship.
it makes a lot. And if you value the person or value the relationship, you respond based on your values. Again, there's the stimulus and there's the response. You respond based on the value. If I value this person, my response should be different than
Very good.
somebody I just don't. It should be different.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the humility, sometimes comes like biting your tongue and not saying it. You said something about. You put up a post about being able to not respond a while ago, or being quiet, or being quiet,
Yes.
and that's something
Chuck
that,
just said that too,
and that's
yeah.
well, did he?
Yeah,
And that's
Chuck
something
said
that I've learned as a tool, and there's humility in that because I find there are so many things that I could say,
Yes.
baby,
That you
baby.
you just don't have to.
Yeah, and usually it's going on in my head. I'm telling you, I probably have 20 things in my head
Well, most
that
of
I
that
can
stuff
say
is
or that I
going
would
on,
want to say.
Yes,
But humility tells me to hold it in
exactly.
because of the value. It's been different things. It's been different family members where I've wanted to say these 10 things or whatever, and I may get prompted to not say anything
Yeah.
and let it all work out. Or so even practicing and choosing peace, that's our number one. We choose peace.
We choose peace.
That's one of the things, one of the choices that we make for a
Yes.
healthy relationship is we choose peace. Number one, we choose peace. Felicia said you have to humbly ask yourself, do you value being right more than the relationship?
Absolutely.
Because if I just have to be right, I'm going to win this argument, I'm
We're
going to
win
have
this
the last
argument
say.
Regardless, I'm gonna have the last say, and
Remember we talked
no
about
matter what you
win-win
say,
win-win relationships. In the end, that's a loss
Yeah.
because you won, the other person has to lose. In the
Yes.
end, there's a loss.
yeah, absolutely.
Or if you always lose and say whatever, I'm not going to say anything. You right, you always right.
It's another lose.
So I'm going to lose so you can just win so we can get over it.
It's a loss.
That's a loss in the end. So healthy relationships can balance that courage to speak up with consideration for the other person. You always want consideration. You don't want to. That's that balance. Yeah, yeah. So we choose us. So number one, we choose peace.
choose peace. Choose peace.
We choose peace, and we can
Yes.
do that by apologizing, moving on. So, I remember talking to it's just not worth it. Walk away if you have to come back. And do it. Choose
Yeah,
peace
and yeah.
versus getting overly agitated versus saying things that you really don't feel
That's
or
what
want to
it's
say.
gonna lead to.
Yeah, just choose peace.
You choose that peace
Yeah,
first.
choose peace. And then
Come
but
back to
but
it.
I'm not saying don't ever like I'm not saying
Address
lose all the
issues,
time.
yeah.
Don't you have to
Yeah,
address
yeah,
issues.
You gotta
Come
address
on.
the issues. Don't.
You have to talk about it.
But
and-
with the consideration and
Courage and consideration, and sometimes the timing and all that,
Yes.
to have the
Job.
time to really
Time
talk
is
about it.
important,
And if you care about each other, you want to solve it. You don't want to leave that lingering, and or if this person is hurt, feeling some kind of way, you want to come together.
Yes.
When we talked about turning towards, we had a whole session on
Yeah,
turning
I was
towards
turning
each other.
towards, yeah.
And so number one, for choices for a healthy relationship, we choose peace. And so I remember talking with a couple, and they both had to don't go to bed angry. You really shouldn't go to bed angry. You really shouldn't go to bed angry. But if it gets so escalated, you may have to put some space and come back to it. But you can at least say, I don't want to go to bed angry. I love you. Something. Something. Just I know we had a situation where it was kind of a little pinchy, and I'm gonna turn my back but my husband will say, "Come here, baby, come here," and just at least a touch or something, even if we don't talk about it, a touch or somehow some type of turn to where he's good. He's good at that. I'm not good at that, but he's good.
She's not good.
I'm not. I need a minute. I need 2 minutes. But he's good at that. And so in choosing peace, but it was this couple, and they were just they both just knew they were right. Um, and I mean, they were just fighting, like competing with each other.
Oh my God.
And I remember, and these were
trouble.
people and these were people of God. And so I was like, guys,
What are you doing?
which one of you is gonna let God in?
Yeah.
He wants to come in, right? Which one of you, who's gonna be the one that's gonna let God in?
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna let peace enter?
Yep.
Peace is gonna enter when somebody chooses humility.
Yes.
And that's when it's going to enter, and then it restores the balance. So who is going to be the one?
Who is going to be the one?
Who's going to be the one to let God in?
Yes.
I ain't, because I know I'm right. I ain't, because I know I'm right, and she always is here. Who's going to be the one? He's hovering over this whole situation. He wants to come in. He can't come in until somebody decides, I'm going to be the one to let God in. Who's going to let God in?
Let God in, let God do his thing. Let him move.
Who's going to let him in? So that takes a little bit of humility, and choosing peace and quickly getting to the restoration. Can we speed it up? Sometimes this just takes way too long because nobody wants to be the one. Yeah. Okay. So that's number one. We choose peace. Well, thank you, Felicia said that's powerful.
Yep.
Because of our choices and decisions, we choose peace. So I hope in your relationship you choose peace too. That's our number one.
That's our number one.
That's our
choose
number
peace.
one.
Our number two is one of my favorites. We choose to serve each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the biggest things that we really, like I said earlier, we've really invested in the way we treat each other. And we always want to treat each other with respect. We don't always treat each other with, a pep in our step. We want to treat each other with kindness and tenderness.
Yeah. Choose.
choose,
Number two,
yes.
serve each
Yeah.
other.
We were, so, one time we started, you can get into a space where you really start expecting things from each other. And then that kind of pushes it into that realm where, am I willing to give, or is she willing to give, or you question whether you're willing to give. But when you choose service, when you choose to serve that person, you just bottle that all up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So sometimes we expect more from people than we're willing to give.
Right.
And if
Exactly.
you have a mindset to serve, that flips that. Oh,
Yes.
10 of life in the building. So we choosing to serve each other is a choice. In our relationship, we're choosing that.
yes,
And that means that we're making a choice between selfishly wanting our way or selflessly serving the other. And it's in our book, it was one of the chapters, we found ourselves in a competition early on in our relationship where it's like, oh man, he got one up on me. Oh man, he anticipated that and he got me that. Oh, I'm gonna get him. So it would turn into a little healthy competition of who can outserve the other. Oh man, you got me. So I'm gonna get you next time, or okay, when you come home, I'm gonna bake you a pie or something. You know what I mean? So it came to this thing to where we were it was a healthy competition. But we choose to serve each other.
As we chose to serve each other too, man, we receive many more blessings than you would averagely receive. I think that God will pay you back, really. If you're not, worried about how am I going to get this back, or how I'm going to get served, how is she going to serve me, or how I'm going to, recruit this service. God really handles that because, and you ready to open up the book on that?
Yeah, I think there's something in the book where we talked about outserving each other, and we talked about here it is.
160.
Yeah.
159.
Okay. Yeah. This we're on this little book right here called The LoveByrds Story.
The LoveByrds Story.
How the class clown and the class president developed an extraordinary love.
Yes.
Written by Darren and William Byrd. You can get that at love-birds.com. So there's a chapter on outserving each other, and this was a part of how our relationship developed, right?
Yes.
And if you do it from the heart, it comes back. That's right.
That's right. That's the main thing.
And if you do it, it interjects joy into your relationship. It interjects joy.
Yes.
I'm gonna just read it because it's really quick. It's only 2 paragraphs. It says that love gives more than it takes. Pure and simple. God so loved the world that He gave. If you love something, you're mindful of it. You study it. You look out for it. You listen to it. You anticipate its needs. Billy kept telling me that no one has ever taken care of him the way that I do. He shared that no one has cared about his interests, his health, his needs, or his wants the way that I have. Most women are natural givers and caretakers anyway, even from a deficit. But women are also responders. The more they are taken care of, the more they want to pour out. Serving begets serving.
Yes.
We're giving it to you. We're giving it to you, Ty. The remedy for keeping a fire lit. This was true for my husband also. And the next thing we realized was that we were competing with each other, not so much as in a tit for tat, but we were intentionally engaged in serving the other. We were anticipating needs, anticipating wants and desires, and doing things to let the other know we were thinking about them. We serve each other in the little things, such as bringing a cup of tea, a glass of water, picking up small gifts, leaving little notes, sending encouraging texts and prayers, and beating each other to the punch with the dishes and the laundry and things like that. We were planning little surprises for each other and doing anything to bring a smile, that interjection of that joy.
That's my favorite part of it.
Our outserve one another competition is ongoing, and it keeps our marriage balanced and selfless. We esteem one another and gently take delight in the happiness of the other. I've got him, he's got me, and we've got it all covered.
Yes. That's
And we've got it all covered.
That's a very powerful statement.
It's a power, yeah. So we choose to serve.
Yes.
So it's not like what can I get or what can you do for me, but how can I make your day? And we had one podcast, we talked about a question. We gave a question out there for someone was asking about, the relationship, and the question that we told them to ask every day: what can I do for you today? What can I do to make your life a little easier today? How can I help you today?
Yes.
What can I do to meet something that you've got to do today? What can I do? And if there's something you can take off the plate, take it off the plate. It might be, I could just use some extra hugs today, or I could use some patience today. I could use a little quiet today.
Right.
I could use you to just everybody stay out my way today. Whatever it is today. But just being considerate of the other. So number one is we choose peace. Number two is we choose to serve
one another.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ready for number three?
Absolutely.
Y'all ready for number three?
Number three is.
You following along with us? Hey,
Number
Alex
three.
said something. Hold on, what did Alex say?
You say.
What's up,
Mr.
Alex?
McDonald, when issue arises,
They must be addressed.
Two-way communication must be established. In your viewpoint, it's important for both to have the ability to exercise humility.
But because of ego,
Okay, I got it.
one or both people feel that if they become humble or if they are deemed wrong, that they're being annihilated. So it becomes a matter of survival, so to speak. The question is, how do two people learn the art of communication effectively in solving issues? Absolutely. Absolutely. So yes, so
Well, we
humility.
spoke about this too.
We did.
Yeah.
So the whole first of all, esteeming each other. First of all, the value you place on the relationship. We value this relationship, and therefore we're going to be considerate of the other person. Nobody's more important. We're going to value that, and then we're going to have courage, balance with consideration. So I don't want to have all this courage to always have to be right and make my point, and you all the way down here because I don't consider you. I've got to be able to consider you and the courage to speak. So we got to talk these things out respectfully with the other person, and that person, not one is more important than the other. So we're placing that value on each other. That's great, and it's going to take some humility. We
And
make
most
mistakes.
of that humility is listening. I'm going to tell you right now. Can't be a lot of talking when you're doing a lot. Of course, and being apologetic and things of that nature, yes. But a lot of humility is listening and understanding your partner. That's where humility hits the road. The rubber hits the road.
And I like to feel heard. So I like to and I don't like when somebody mistakes my feeling for something. Oh, you're mad. No, I'm mad. I'm disappointed.
Right.
Or I'm this or I'm that. So I like to feel like I'm understood. So that listening is really listening to try to understand the other person. Whether you agree or not, whether you meant it that way or not, how did they receive it? So that humility comes in. Well, let me hear how you said. Let me put myself in your shoes and how you received it and what it meant to you and how you felt. Okay. That's listening. And then the other person explaining, and we're listening, and then we're coming to some kind of understanding.
Yes.
And we should learn to do that in our relationships. That helps us to give the benefit of the doubt. Like, that really didn't sound like you. Something, I must be missing something in there.
How about being submissive in a relationship?
He already on number 4.
Yeah.
You on number 4. You on number 4. You on number 4.
The submission part and surrendering to one another. That's not. I mean, submission is kind of like a service. Also, I kind of turn submission into kind of a service because in serving, you should be finding some kind of satisfaction out of serving that person, and that part right there is you get that submissive. You're able to deal with the submission and understanding that part of it. And getting the satisfaction out of treating your partner like they need to be treated.
We're gonna flip the number because Tyrone's already went there, so we're gonna meet Tyrone right over there with the submission. So one of our points is number 4, but it's gonna be number 3 today is
and we
what
call
we
it
choose.
Equal consideration.
Equal consideration, and that's the same as submission. To one to another, mutual submission.
It's a mutual submission,
right? And that is when we're deferring to the other person. I know what I want, but tell me what you want. So it's the considering the other person. Okay, I want this, but I know that you don't like this, so I'm going to do this way. I'm going to meet you halfway. We're going to do both. So it's the considering. That submission part is considering, right? Equal consideration.
Equal consideration.
We're considering. It's asking. So what do you think? I know what I would like to do or how I see it, but what do you think? What do you have in mind? And making that just as important. Again, a lot of this comes to that whole balancing, the considering, the courage and consideration. It's the including. I'm not just going to run off and do what I want, the way I want it, or buy what I want, and I'm not including you. So that that submission is considering. Between the Love Doc and LoveByrds, become a love specialist.
Okay,
Wowzer. Yes. Hey, that's that feel good talk. It's good for you. Feel good talk is good for you, right? So that whole submission part is one that we have chosen.
Yes.
We have chosen equal consideration. We have chosen mutual submission.
Everything.
Considering the others.
Never do anything major or that's really important without considering each other or consulting with each other.
Asking. Including.
Yes. Yes. It's an all-inclusive deal.
That's right.
There you go.
Because let me tell you this. Let me tell you, if you're not asking, what did it say? Asking, including, and considering, if you're not submitting to each other, then you're single-minded.
You're single.
You're single-minded. You're acting as if it's just you.
Just you, yeah.
You don't have to consider anything. You don't have to ask anything. You don't have to include anybody. You're single-minded. And that's just the bottom line, because you're acting as one person, not as a unit or a relationship.
That's not good.
And you might want to
esteem ourselves more.
Yeah. I mean, you listen, and if you're dating or whatever, listen. If you're not finished, you're not finished. We had this conversation the other day. If you're not finished, just be honest with yourself. Be honest with God. Be honest with everybody around you. You're not finished. You're not finished being single.
On the bars if you want. Go ahead.
If you're not finished,
post
it up on the bar stool. That's every chance you get. You're not finished.
Yeah.
Or doing whatever you want to do. You're not finished. And so be honest with that. And as you're going into relationships, make sure you're honest with yourself about that kind of stuff, right? Because you got to want to be in a relationship. We chose.
Jump started us up into that.
That was good, Ty.
Yeah, that was good.
Hey, Ty.
Yes.
You in there, Ty. You stop playing with it, Ty. Come on in. Come on into this love thing, Ty. Come on in. Love Doctor number 2.
Love Doctor number 2. Okay, baby. Let's keep it moving.
We got to go back. We're going to go back to the other one. What was the other one we jumped over?
We choose acceptance. This is another big one, too. And this falls along the lines there where we're not trying to change one another.
Yeah.
We're satisfied. We're happy with who they are. We understand who they are. And these are, as we talked about earlier, dealing with the changes that the relationship is going to go through. Each one of you are going to go through separate changes that the other is going to have to kind of learn how to understand and deal with, so to speak.
Yep.
So in this acceptance part, we are we accept, basically we're just accepting each other as different, and we're learning not to make major issues out of minor faults.
There you go.
You know,
we're talking about minor faults. We're talking about different
the
personalities.
2s and the 3s, Darlene's talk about all the time.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, we're talking about those 1s, 2s, 3s.
You know what I mean?
So listen, it's down to this for me, and this is hard too for people.
Yeah.
Just accepting how people are different.
Right.
You know, this comes up in my family a lot. You know, we are all different. So we say things differently. We think, we act. We can't expect everybody to do things the way we would do it, or say things the way we would, and act the way that we would. We can't. And that's part of accepting who we are and how we're different. Some people are people persons. They're out there talking, and some are more quiet. That's not who they are. You know, some like to work with their hands. Some like to be out front working with people. We're just different, and we have to accept that. So we choose to accept how we're different, and we're not the same. We're not the same. We haven't had the same life experiences. So there's some things that maybe one person has learned through their life experience, the other person hasn't experienced that yet. So it's going to take them a minute to learn. You know what I mean? After, you know, some things are new to some people, some things are not. We're just all different, and so we have to just keep that in mind. And accept people for who they are. I'm not talking about the 9s and 10s, because if they're rocking your foundation, things that rock, they hit you at your core. I'm not saying just accept that kind of stuff, because you probably can't, because it's a core foundational issue for you. But you know, most things is just accepting that people are different. You know, and in our relationship, I had to accept that. I'd accept that with my husband. Listen, Billy Bird,
he's way different.
He is different from me. And so I had to understand the pieces of his personality, you know, some of the history, where some of that stuff comes from. And he had to do the same thing with me. Darlene is different about certain things, you know, and he had to understand, you know, what things in my life have shaped me to be the way that I am too. So, hey, Felicia. So so we've had to learn how different we are, and how to accept the differences, you know, and some of it's personality, some of it's upbringing, some of it's things that we love to do versus things we don't like to do, but just accepting it, you know, and just, you know, it's okay. That is them being them, you know, and laugh at it or make a joke of it, or, you know, but we choose to accept.
We choose to accept. So we're talking about the choices that we're making. We're talking about I choose you, and the reasons why I choose you, and some of the things that we do in order to make sure that our relationship emulates that I choose you kind of mantra. So we choose acceptance. We choose serving. We choose to serve one another. We choose acceptance. We choose peace. And we choose consideration.
Yeah, we got one more. We're gonna take a break first.
Absolutely.
All right. We're gonna take a break.
Stay
with us.
We got one
more. We got one more choice that we've decided to make that we want to share with you guys.
Give it to us, Chuck.
Be right back. That was it.
And we're back. Thank you, guys. Back. Listen, you got to go to love-birds.com. Get yourself a copy of the LoveByrds story, How the Class Clown and the Class President Develop an Extraordinary Love. So on Amazon, you can get also a Kindle. And not only that, make sure you like and subscribe to the Feel Good Talk podcast all across the board, from Naim the Love Doctor all the way down to Izzy and the Message.
It's good stuff.
Let's talk about it. Team West and all those other people coming on. Sophia and them got a new show coming on.
It's just
we got
well-rounded.
All we got all kinds of stuff here to empower you, encourage you, and inspire you to be your
Can I use
best
the word
you.
wholesome?
Wholesome.
It's
Wholesome.
It's wholesome.
Like, that made me want to give you a hug. Like wholesome. That's all. When you said that word, why did I feel like I wanted a hug?
Wholesome made you want to hug.
Yeah, it did. That sounded like wholesome.
Tyrone said something about being a yes. What did Tyrone say? How about being a yes man in a relationship?
Yo, Ty, don't do that.
Right, Ty.
Ty, don't be a yes man.
Well, listen. Say yes.
Yes.
Say yes. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong? That's true too. That's true too.
What's wrong with that?
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure that you're not losing you in there. Again, it goes back to courage, balance with consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Courage, sure that you're getting what you need out the relationship and considering the other person.
Yes.
And some people are givers and some people are servers, and it's nothing wrong with that. If you can say yes, I know if my husband can say yes to me, he's going to say yes. If he can make it happen, he's going to make it happen because he likes to do that. He likes to bring a smile to my face, but he knows that I want the same thing for him.
Absolutely.
So it's not imbalanced. Yeah. It's that mutual, that equal consideration. So if you're a yes man and you're always saying yes, she should be a yes girl, always saying yes too.
Sense.
You know what I mean?
If y'all saying yes to everything,
it's yes and amen up in that camp.
Yes and amen.
It's
know,
yes
baby.
and
A
amen.
whole bunch of yeses don't do good.
Love will make you say yes when it's no.
Yeah.
Okay. Not when it comes to those things that are 8s and 9s and 10s. On a scale of 1 to 10, you might say yeah to the little onesies, twosies, threesies. But make sure you know what your 8s and 9s and 10 are. Let me tell you.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let me tell you. You can say yes and you can say no when you understand the bigger picture. For example, if you have to say no, you can say no unapologetically when you understand what the bigger yes is. So, for example, if you guys agree that you're saving for something, then you're going to be able to no with a smile because we're going for this bigger yes. Or I'm saying no because I'm going for something else that's bigger. And it takes some discipline in that and some getting on the same page with some of those types of things. So you got some talking to do. Talk it through, understand what the priorities are. What are we saying yes to in this season? And what are we saying no to in this season? We have those seasons. We have those seasons where it's a building season. We have those seasons where, you know what, we're going to fall back for 2 months and we're just going to re-up because we done went ballistic, you know, or we're going to attack this or attack that. So you can say no when you understand what the bigger is. And hopefully if you're in relationships, you can get on the same page about those seasons and where you are in those relationships. So this has been good. I choose you.
Felicia says if someone loves you, that person wouldn't ask you to say yes to something that goes against your values. God. Yeah, well, of course, yeah.
Oh,
that goes
God.
without saying. You're so very right.
Absolutely. If they are, that's not healthy.
That's not healthy.
That's using or extracting and taking from. That's manipulation, and that's not healthy.
Yes.
We're all about healthy stuff here.
Yes, we're doing the healthy stuff.
We're doing healthy relationships here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're calling it out. I mean, we're not afraid to call it out. That doesn't look right. That don't sound right. That doesn't smell right. You have to have boundaries, contrary to your boundaries. And no, that's right. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we have to respect each other's boundaries and respect how the other person thinks and feels. And we don't belittle them or play them down
or dismiss
it. It's important to them. It should be
important to us.
Yeah.
If you're in a relationship, nothing should be more important than God in your relationship with your partner.
So that takes us to our fifth one, right?
Yes. And that puts us right where I was just about to go.
That takes us to y'all got the first four? Y'all got the first four? Type one of them in the comments. Let us know you follow.
I'm going to start you out. First one was we choose peace. The LoveByrds choose peace. We choose to be peaceful around here. We choose humility over selflessness. So our first one is we choose peace. Can somebody give me number 2?
Yeah. We choose peace. Give us another one. You guys are following along.
Very
good.
Choose peace. We choose peace.
What else do we choose?
We choose. I'm going to help them. We choose acceptance.
We choose acceptance.
We choose acceptance. We choose not to try to change each other. we try to understand that each one of us is different. We also try to understand that there's no need to make big issues over
out of small things.
Small things.
Just accepting that we're different.
Just accepting that we're different. We choose to serve each other. Very good, Chuck. You're in there, baby.
Yep.
We choose to serve, and we choose equal consideration. Chuck, you're right there, man. Right where we need to be. Thank you,
right.
Sir.
And the last one.
And our last one.
Our last one is.
I think our last one is our most important one for us.
For us, and our relationships are different, but our last choose. Okay, we're talking about I choose you, and we're choosing healthy. We're choosing to make the right choices that lead to a healthy relationship.
Right.
So we're talking about health and healthy relationships and making the right choices. Because a healthy marriage relationship is the result of making the right choices. So the last thing that we choose is that we choose to please God. And that's a choice that we have made and we've made together because we feel like that gives us the power that we need to stay dedicated to each other. My husband tells the story of God telling him, and he's heard God clearly say, "Oh, take care of Darlene, and I'll take care of the rest." So we feel like having a higher power empowers us to love each other. And I tell people all the time, I feel God's love for me through my husband and through the way that he serves me and he cares for me. And I pray that he feels God's love for him through me as well as vehicles. But we choose to please God.
I feel like you're a gift to me. I mean, God started this whole thing out as, it was a gift to Adam. So, it's just how yes.
Okay.
Pretty much, God brought Adam to Eve to Adam.
And I think if you treat each other as a gift, that's a whole different perspective.
Right.
It's as a gift.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. I look at it like that.
And that takes us back to when I tell you, just as a way of just reassuring, I always say, Billy Bird, you were my choice. So I feel like it just brings us back to that when you talk about the gift.
Yes.
So seeing each other as a gift and knowing that, hey, we're in this thing. So we choose to please God, and I think that gives us empowerment. Truly on earth as it is in heaven. That's as it should be.
Yes.
That's as it should be. And that helps us put the other person's needs ahead of their own. So he takes care of me like he's taking care of me for God. And I have to take care of him like he's God's son that God loves. And part of my job is to take care of him for God.
And the main thing is, you know what, guys? I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off. Is if we choose his way, it's a little bit better, man. You choose God's way, you choose his way. This thing called marriage and relationship turns out a lot better. Yeah, I can't make it no more simple than that. You can't make it no more simple than that.
We honor him and we honor each other.
That's right.
So we choose. That's the fifth thing that we choose is that we choose to please God.
Yes.
I know I want the thumbs up. I know I want the thumbs up. I do.
Yes.
I do. When I close my eyes at night, I want the thumbs up.
Yes.
I don't want the thumbs down for something that I said or did. That's why lots of times I'll sit on it and I'll sit on it because if I say it right now, it's not gonna be right. So it's gonna be ugly. I want the thumbs up.
Way to go, Chuck.
And I don't want the thumbs down. I want the thumbs up. Like, okay, was I my best self? Regardless of whatever was said or done and how things were said and done, was I my best self? Because I can control me, right? And I can respond based on my values, not just responding based on my emotions or responding to the situation or responding based on other people or responding based on who's looking or responding all that kind of mess. So responding based on values. So that's what helps us. So that was our 5 choices. I hope that you have made some in your relationship. If not, take a minute and discuss that. Have the same conversation that we're having in your relationship about the choices that you have made. Because a healthy marriage, a healthy relationship is a result of making the right choices. So these are our top choices that we've made. And if we can leave you with the bird seed.
With the bird seed.
The breadwinner relationship considered the powerful one in a relationship? No.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Some people are better at certain things.
Yes.
Hopefully, the importance of where you are. Sometimes things are seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes somebody needs to be in school, or somebody needs to be taking a class, or somebody needs to be doing something, and we agree on that together because in the future it will get us to where we're trying to go. And sometimes somebody just makes more than the other, but everybody is valued for their input and for what they bring to the relationship, to the home, in terms of loving and serving and caring for each other. It's all one. It's all one pot.
Yeah.
As long as the pot has something in it, and we're not struggling. It's difficult when you're struggling. But
I know a lot of people look at that in that question he was just now saying as God placing man, and the man is basically head of the household or supposed to be. I mean, biblically, the man is, but relationships don't happen like that for real. No. Relationships work with two. The two become one. So.
And
when you think about that,
you're using your gifts.
Yes.
So
we're using
different.
our gifts, and that's right. So if Darlene is the arm, we still need fingers to get the job done. So
some people are better. Some people are better at cleaning the house. Some people are better at the dishes. Some people are better at this. Some people are better at paying the bills.
We still have to work together as one.
We just got to work together.
We got to work together.
It goes back to that equal consideration.
Very much so.
And that equal consideration and sitting down together as a team. So if this is team, whatever your last name is, if that's the team, okay, you got different players on the team that do different things. So if you're considering it as a team, that kind of helps you see how we get it all covered. What's everything that needs to be done? And we're on this one team, one mission, one unit. And who's taking what pieces of that? Okay, who's taking what pieces of that? So we're going to leave with this bird seed.
You're welcome, Felicia. Thank you.
We're going to leave you with this bird seed to take with you into the next week.
Today?
Yeah.
I got the top. You got the bird seed.
Okay. Let me see. How I want to do
Give
this
it to
bird
him,
seed.
baby. Give it to him.
Okay. Okay, this is the bird seed.
Mr. Bird seed.
Every single day, there's a new, fresh question. And the question is, will we make the right choices?
Sounds
every
like
single day.
That
It's a new, fresh
bird
question.
Seed to me.
And the question is, will we make the right
choices?
Again,
Today.
your relationship is the result of your choices.
There you go.
We're the LoveByrds. We love people.
We love love.
And we love you.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
See you again in 2 and 2. Peace.